So you've watched the video and you've done the test to ascertain that you have low stomach acid. So during the course of this video, I'm just going to go through some of the potential causes or triggers to low stomach acid and the things that you can do to help to redress the balance. So the main causes really to low stomach acid are stress, smoking, tea and coffee, so caffeine consumption, diet that's high with sugars or processed and refined foods, so that would include your takeaways, but your refined carbs in particular, things like your white bread, white rice, white pasta. So with those things you can substitute, so for example a white rice to a brown rice, which would be more beneficial if you want to continue to eat those things. But you really want to make sure that your diet has higher protein to carbohydrate. You don't want to be eating too many carbs. As a result of age, as I mentioned before, then our stomach acid naturally declines. And there are some medications that also suppress stomach acid, and they would be listed within the information for those medications. Now there's other things that can also be a trigger to low stomach acid. So that can be if you have a history of eating disorders. It can be to do with an underactive thyroid, and also something called H. pylori is the short name, but it's Helicobacter pylori. So that's a particular infection that needs to be treated. So it might be that maybe you suspect things like your thyroid, or that there's something else going on, and certainly go and seek medical advice about that so that you can get the appropriate treatment. Or if you've made all of the lifestyle changes, you're living that kind of perfect life as far as doing all of the right things for your stomach acid to be correct, but you're still getting all of the symptoms, then again that would be the time to have some further investigation or to seek professional advice as well. So the things that you can do to help redress the balance would be to reduce your stress levels. It would be also a lot of the advice that I discussed in the first video about your digestion. So just making sure that the environment is right, so that you're not eating on the go, that when you're eating that you really do sit and you actually stay mindful and present, and think about the food that you're eating and really taste it, because often we can be distracted with everything else that's going on, that we're not actually thinking about the food that we're putting in our mouth. And making sure that the environment is a nice, calm, happy and relaxed one, so that you're providing that great environment for optimal digestion to be happening. There's also, mentioned about tea, caffeine, alcohol and the smoking, to make sure, and high sugars and the refined carbs, so to reduce or ideally cut those things out. There's also particular foods that can be helpful. So in the last video I did the experiment using the apple cider vinegar, which was representing your stomach acid, and so what you can do is have like a teaspoon diluted in some water before your meal, and it's really important that with things like cider vinegar that you do dilute it down, that you don't just take it direct, because that's not good for the enamel on your teeth. So to drink that beforehand can just help to boost your stomach acid levels. Also fermented foods, so things like kimchi and sauerkraut, and your natural probiotic yogurts as well, so that it's important that it is a natural yogurt. And then also what you can do is to take stomach acid as a supplement itself. So it's called betaine hydrochloride. Got an example here, so excuse me, product placement, because the company name will be very visible. So this is a company called Higher Nature. And what I would advise in these types of circumstances is to take professional advice, so either from a therapist or companies like Higher Nature, Cytoplan and NutriAdvanced. They have nutritionists that work for the company, and you can speak to them directly. So I would say to take things like betaine hydrochloride under guidance and with advice, just to make sure that you're not taking too much and then creating the opposite problem. So that's really important. So otherwise I've covered all of the information, and hopefully by redressing the lifestyle or food changes that are relevant for you, then that will help to bring everything back into more normal balance.